Okay, today we're going to learn how to make maple syrup in Mendon, Massachusetts. So, the best time to do it is in late January, early February, where it's freezing at night. Well, below freezing, I should say, below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and in the 40s during the day. That time of year, the trees are really sucking up a lot of water from the ground and creating a lot of maple sap. So, what you basically do is you drill a hole into a tree about 2 inches deep, and then you put a tap into it. And then you just put a tube to a container and let it fill up. Now, this is one way I do it, and the other way I do it is with just simple water gallon containers or milk gallon containers, 1 gallon containers, and you basically just tap the tree. Here's a different type of tap, a stainless steel tap, and as you can see, it's dripping. Now, to make maple syrup, you need 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. So it's a 40-to-1 ratio. So what the next step to do is we have to boil off the excess 39 gallons, which I'll show you next. So this is the contraption I use. First, you need a lot of wood because you're going to be cooking all that water out, and it takes a lot of wood. So what I have is a cinder block cooker. It's pretty much cinder blocks with a chimney. As you can see, the smoke's coming out of there pretty good, nice and clean, so it's a good burn. And we use steam trace to boil off the excess water. Now, this is straight from the tree, from the 5-gallon container. And then, as you can see, it's getting more concentrated down the line. So what you want to do is you want to take hot water, using a scoop or whatever, from one that is right off the tree, and basically you want to fill up the ones in the middle, because those are the ones that are more concentrated, more sugar content, hence it's getting it look a little bit browner. So once you have the 40 gallons boiling, and once it's complete, it should come down to about a gallon or so. And then once it gets to that level, you want to take it and do the finished product in the house. As you can see here, I have a good fire cooking underneath. And you got to stay with it because you want that to be boiling at all times. And you don't have to worry about the burnt sugars or anything else that might get into the sap, because it gets filtered out pretty good. So when I boil maple syrup, I do 40 gallons at a time. So like I said, when it gets down to about a gallon and 39 gallons or so is evaporated, I finish it inside. I'll put it in a pot like this, and I'll have it come to a boil, and then I'll use what they call a candy thermometer to test it to make sure that we have it at 219. 219 is the temperature you want to get to in order for it to turn into syrup. Once it's at that temperature, I'll use a hydrometer. You'll fill this up with the syrup, and you'll use this to test the density of the syrup. You'll put it in nice and slowly, and it should float. If it's hot syrup, it'll float to that first line. If you're doing it cold, it should be floating at about this line. Once it floats at that level, you'll know that the syrup is at the proper density. So once the syrup is complete, we need to filter it now. So we use a filter. This here is the filter I use. You basically put a bucket on the ground, and you put this over the bucket, and you'll dump that hot syrup into this filter. This will filter out all the burnt sugars and any other impurities that are in the syrup. Once that is complete, you'll take that bucket of syrup, and then you'll start putting it into containers, fully sterilized containers. And this is your finished product. Delicious maple syrup. This is a great thing to do, and anybody can do it at home. So I hope you enjoy the maple syrup, and have a great day.